So the first thing that you need to understand about high ticket sales, and something that I learned the hard way, is that the offer that you're on a lot of times will dictate the amount of success that you have in the industry, especially as a beginner. And I'll give you an example for this. You could be the best salesman in the world. You could have the best skills. You could be the next Jordan Belfort. But if you're just working at, let's say, the nearest fitness center, selling gym memberships, even though you're the best salesman in the world, you're never going to make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month just working there, right? And so that kind of proves the point that it's not actually the skills that matter so much, it's actually the opportunity vehicle that you're in, AKA the company or the offer that you're actually selling. Now, when it comes to the online industry specifically, where people talk about remote closing, appointment setting, this is actually even amplified in my opinion, because you're not really on a base typically. A couple of my one-on-one students have a base, like a $1,500 or $2,000 a month base. But for the most part, especially as a closer, you're not gonna have a base. So the performance of you and the company is a lot more dependent on how successful they already are. And so it's just really, really crucial that you get in with a high quality company that's ideally already making at least $100,000 every single month in revenue, has a great product or service that you can see gets people great results that people want to already buy, and ideally has somebody at the face, like a personal brand, that's promoting the offer or the service or the product, because that's gonna give you a lot of leverage when you're on the calls. Because if you think about it, if everyone coming on the call with you absolutely loves the person that you're selling for, then essentially they're kind of gonna love you just because you are associated with that person and that person trusts you. And so they're gonna trust you as well. Compared to if you're just selling for a company where it's just like a company name rather than an actual person behind it, it's gonna be a lot harder to build trust and really have a lot of fun and make a lot of money in this industry, especially as a beginner. But I can give you an example for this as well. So for a long time, I actually closed for a big guy in the finance space. His name is Invest with Henry. He has like 300,000 subscribers. And I originally started on his team as a setter and got really good experience. And then I moved to a couple different companies, and then I came back on his team as a closer. And that's how I scaled to my first $15,000 to $20,000 per month consistently. And at this point, I'm pretty close, pretty good friends with him now. But the whole point of this being, my job was way, way easier on the calls with Henry and his team, because the people that watched him already knew that he was really good at options trading, which is what he teaches. He makes people a shitload of money, and he makes himself a shitload of money, and he shows it all. And so there's just like so much proof that for me, like it was just so much easier. I just had to, answer a few questions, and I definitely didn't have to be the best closer in the world, even though I was and still am very, very good. Even if I was bad, the point is I still would have made a lot of money. So really just want to drive home that point. And the reason I worked for Henry is because not only did I care about the finance niche, but I believed in what he was doing, and I knew that he got people great results, and I knew that he had a really strong brand that people wanted to be a part of, right? And I could see that over time he was growing. And that's kind of another thing you want to get into, is a company that is consistently growing over time rather than in the decline. And so Henry's still growing. His YouTube channel is popping off as of right now. And I got in when he was, still pretty big, but he has grown a lot since then as well. So that's an example of somebody on the uptrend that you would want to get in with rather than a company on the downtrend. And so when I was getting on calls with people, they were pretty much already sold. They liked me just because Henry had me on his team. They loved Henry, and they had been watching him for so long that they were pretty much already sold. I just had to walk them through some of the details and collect payment. And typically, we were selling his program anywhere from a couple thousand to like 6,000. There were a couple different like ranges, and I would make 12% commission. So on a $6,000 program, I would make $720 for selling that and helping somebody get in. And it was pretty easy to get to like at least 1 to 2 of those every single day, taking like 5 to 6 30, 45-minute calls. So that's one example of really why the offer is so important. And that's why I help my students implement the system that I used to build a really, really solid network in this industry. So this industry, or this method that I used, kind of the system to just build a solid network, is something I call the authority outreach system. Now, The authority outreach system is something I created because when I first got into this industry, I had absolutely zero sales experience. I was literally just a Hooters cook, and I got into this just because I heard of it in some day trading group that I was in. I was trying to do day trading, and I heard of it, and I was like, oh shit, this sounds way better. This sounds like a much better opportunity. So I kind of made that transition, had never sold anything in my life, and I realized like I had to give the best companies, like big guys with a personal brand like Henry or a lot of other guys that I close for, the confidence to bring me onto the team, somebody with zero sales experience compared to maybe somebody with a little bit of sales experience as well, or a lot. And what I realized kind of going through that process is that a lot of people, a lot of business owners and companies actually care more about the fact that they're looking for someone more with a work ethic, hunger, drive, and coachability rather than just somebody with experience. Now, sure, experience will help you, but they're mostly looking for the work ethic and are you actually going to put in the work and take our company seriously? And if you can show them that you are going to and you have a great work ethic, then they're a lot more likely to give you a chance, because in sales, sometimes it's more about the traits that you have as a person rather than just the skills that are going to help you become successful. And so a lot of times they're looking for traits, and the only reason some companies look for skills is because if someone's already seen success in sales, then they're more likely to have those traits. But if you can sell them on the fact that you have the traits through my authority outreach system, dialing in your profiles, selling yourself, basically in a very formatted way where you're basically analyzing all the experiences you have and all the positive traits that are going to help you in sales, and you put it into a really good personal video and you send it to these companies, then you don't really need that good of, or any experience for that matter, to land good positions. So that's the authority outreach system. That's something I help my one-on-one students out with. And if you do want to kind of learn that system more in depth, then definitely get access to like my free course that is below. And if you are ready for like one-on-one mentorship, there'll also be a link to schedule a call with me, speak with me directly, and just kind of see if I could help you really get into this, land a great position with a company, and get to your first $5,000 to $10,000 per month. So there's the free course, and obviously I have my more one-to-one mentorship. It's a bit more private training. So if this is your first video you're watching, you're not really too familiar, definitely just get into the free course. But if you're 100% confident you do want to do sales remotely, and you feel like I can actually help you, then you can definitely schedule a call with me below. It's completely free. But that's kind of the biggest thing is landing an offer. So that's my system that I created, the authority outreach system. But also what's pretty important as well is just the sales skills, right? Because when it comes to sales, you do need the skill to succeed, but it is easy to learn the skill. So the skill itself is pretty simple. It's just a matter of practicing it and getting good at it through role plays, practicing with somebody that actually knows what they're doing to tell you, okay, nope, you did this wrong, say it this way now, or say it this way. And you can just kind of slowly hone in your skills over time. And once you do it enough times, it's just like riding a bicycle, basically. It's just like learning absolutely anything else in the world. But you do need to learn the skill, because a lot of people, they try to get into this and they don't actually spend the time to learn the skill. And then what happens is, maybe they figure out how to join a company and then they don't really perform as well as they should be. And sometimes they lose their position on the team, or in a case where it's not as bad, they just don't make as much money as they could if they actually got the foundational sales skills down. And a big thing that I did that I think helped me out a ton, that I would actually give advice to somebody getting into this, is to literally just start off as a setter if you have no sales experience. Because appointment setters get so much more volume in compared to a closer. Because as a setter, usually you're talking to like 10, 20, 30 people a day, and they're like 5 to 10 minute conversations, right? So you're getting way more volume and a way faster feedback loop, and you're talking to way more people compared to if you start off as a closer. You're taking maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 calls per day, and a lot less chances to actually improve. And as a setter, you're just only doing the discovery process. So you're only really talking to people about why they're interested, what their problems are, what their desires are, and how they kind of see your product or service as a fit. And so you kind of get a ton of practice with that, and then you can use that experience to leverage into closing positions. And that's exactly what I did. Started off with Invest with Henry as an appointment setter, made like $6,000 to $8,000 a month, and then moved to another company, leveraged that experience and those skills into closing. and then did that for a bit, hit my first like $14,000 a month for another person. And then I came back to Henry because I went to Dubai with him, and he was like, dude, you should just join my team. Again, like, get back on my team. So then I joined his team again and scaled much higher from there. And it was all because I got really good at appointment setting first, learned the skill, and then moved up. So time is running out in terms of this video and just in life overall. So definitely just make a jump in. If you're holding yourself back, make a jump in, because you really have nothing to lose. So make a jump in. That's my advice if you're brand new. And if you do want to keep watching my YouTube and you want to learn how my student Louis made almost $10,000 in his first 90 days, pretty much with this blueprint that I just laid out for you in this video, watch that right here.